A truly iconic MVP race, the wildest night in MLB history, and
Freeze hits it in the air to center. We will see you tomorrow night.
think back to the year 2011. What were you doing? Maybe you were just a small child like me, but no matter where you were, there were some unforgettable baseball moments taking place that we're gonna take a deep dive into today. Heading into the 2011 season, some of the most asked questions were, could the Giants repeat? Could the Rangers finally catch some luck in the World Series? And how good was Josh Hamilton actually? Some of the best players in the league included guys like Joey Votto, Buster Posey, Tim Lincecum, Justin Verlander, the aforementioned Josh Hamilton, and more. As we began to head into the season, there was a lot of things going on, but nothing more controversial than the Barry Bonds situation. On April 13th, 2011, Bonds was convicted of one felony count of obstruction of justice for giving an incomplete answer when questioning grand jury testimony. Thus, a mistrial was declared on the remaining 3 counts of pre-jury and the charges were dropped. 2011 was filled with rookie talent. We saw Giancarlo Stanton, Freddie Freeman, Craig Kimbrell, Mark Trumbo, and a guy by the name of Jeremy Helkinson. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I've never heard of this guy before making this video. Yes, Jeremy Helkinson won Rookie of the Year in 2011, but never really seemed to live up to the height that he had in his rookie year, despite having a few solid years. Heading into the All-Star break, some of the better teams in the league were the Braves, Red Sox, Yankees, Phillies, Rangers, and more. The All-Star game took place in Arizona at Chase Field, and it saw the NL beat the AL and Robinson Cano win the Home Run Derby. But as the season was winding down, one of the greatest MVP races was unfolding. For everyone in the AL, 2011 was the year of Justin Verlander. His explosive campaign with the Detroit Tigers was absolutely mind-boggling. The definition of unhittable. Verlander spent the entire year making the opposition look absolutely foolish. He was a candidate, definitely, but the Toronto Blue Jays experienced yet another elite season from one Jose Bautista, but the Red Sox had the breakout player of the year, Jacob Ellsbury. It was a season that Ellsbury would never experience again. But things were definitely more controversial in the NL. Ryan Braun eventually took home the NL MVP award, but in terms of WAR, he was defeated by Matt Kemp, Roy Halladay, and Cliff Lee. Ryan Braun did have an insane 2011 season, but this award would get more controversial as time would go on. December 10th, 2011, Ryan Braun gets busted for steroids after the results of a confidential urine test that conducted on Braun in October of 2011 were leaked to ESPN. Braun tested positive for an elevated level of testosterone caused by a PED drug and faced a 50-game suspension because of it, and his reputation was not in the same place ever since, and that makes the decision to give Braun the MVP more controversial as time goes on. Many people wanted to see this award get given to Roy Halladay or Matt Kemp, but that just wasn't the case. But as for the AL, the award eventually went to Justin Verlander. Verlander became the first pitcher since 1992 to win the MVP. But this season is mainly remembered for the fight for the postseason in Game 163. September 28th, 2011, the last day of the MLB regular season. But let's take it back to September 3rd, where the Tampa Bay Rays were facing a 9-game deficit in the AL, and no team has ever overcame that deficit at the time. The St. Louis Cardinals were also trying to fight their way into the postseason, but they were 7 games back themselves with about a 0.5% chance of making the postseason. For the Cardinals and Rays to even think about entering the postseason, they needed to stand on business and win and just play great, and they needed the teams they were chasing to have a huge collapse and just choke. The Rays would end up beating the Red Sox 6 out of 7 games they played against each other, tying the Red Sox for the wild card spot on September 26. The Red Sox were pretty much repeatedly shoot themselves in the foot, going 5-16 throughout the month of September. In the NL, the Cardinals were 4 games behind after sweeping the Braves. Then on September 25th, the Cardinals found themselves 1 game back with 1 series to go after going 9-4 and having the Braves go 5-7. But good news, the Cardinals are playing the absolute dumpster fire that is the 2011 Houston Astros, with the Braves playing the best team in the league being none other than the Philadelphia Phillies. Then heading into September 28th, the final day, the Cardinals and Braves were tied for the number 1 wild card spot. After a 4-game winning streak by the Rays, the Red Sox and Rays were also tied in the AL, setting up for an iconic finish on September 28th, 2011. The Yankees, Phillies, Astros, and Orioles had the opportunity to play spoiler. The Phillies were also looking for their 102nd win, being the most in their franchise history. I recommend watching this video by this creator to find a more long-form version of these games, like inning by inning, but this is how these games played out. The Rays beat the Yankees in dramatic fashion 8-7. The Phillies beat the Braves 4-3. The Orioles played spoiler to the Red Sox, winning 4-3. And the Cardinals beat the Astros 8-0. With this being how the playoff picture eventually played out. After a historically good postseason full of ups and downs, the World Series stage was set with the Rangers versus the Cardinals. While the main focus of attention for this series goes to Game 6, there was multiple great moments. Game 1 was a 1-run battle decided off Alan Craig's go-ahead single. Game 2 saw the Rangers come back in the 9th to even the series. Game 3 saw a historic offensive performance by Albert Pujols, hitting himself 3 home runs. Game 4 saw a great performance on the mound by Darren Holland. Game 5 saw a bullpen collapse that gave the Rangers a win. And Game 6, a game that is considered by many baseball fans to be the greatest game of all time. I mean, just look at this win probability chart. And Game 6 was the day David Freese became a postseason legend with his iconic triple and a walk-off home run in the 11th inning. This World Series was just S-tier all around, as the Cardinals would win in Game 7. But that'll be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I had fun making this video, reliving the 2011 season. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.
Mr. Redlegs, hit the gritty.